How's it going?
Good. How about you?
I love the Christmas decorations, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying. I'm still working on them. I got a lot more lights and stuff to put up outside.
Yeah.
Just run out of time.
Well, happy holidays. I appreciate you taking the time to just do this call, Andy. So,
Sure, no problem. Appreciate it.
yeah.
We're
Awesome.
trying.
You trying what?
I said we're trying to do okay. We're messing up the last day or two here a little bit, but we're
Yeah.
catching it back. So hopefully it'll be all right.
Yep, it happens. But yeah, I would love to hear more about your story, Andy, and kind of like how you got started into trading and even before that, like what you're doing beforehand. So,
Okay. Um. So I've been a nurse for 21 years, almost 22 years, and that's pretty much been the whole thing: work, 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 all the time. That and family, and then just trying to you know get a good place and keep the family up and take care of mom and dad and do all those things, and so it stays busy all the time. And then and as far as trading, when I finally got started on that, it's been probably about 2 or 3 good years on and off, just looking at it. And one of the doctors at work, one of the doctors at work that I work with, he is into day trading a lot, and he kind of got me interested in it. And I started the little small accounts, putting in $100 here, $100 there, just playing with it and not really knowing what I'm doing, just kind of reading things and researching and trying to figure it out, and not doing so hot and back and forth. And then, and he's done pretty well along the way. And he had bought a few programs in the past to read about and then try to get things in and subscribe to a few services to try to get some tips and some leads and things like that, and done okay with it, but not really hitting it great big. So then I got in on another little group that was doing like a little monthly subscription. So I started watching them and following them, and then that's where I met Jennifer was on there, and I seen her posting her gains on Apple stock all the time, and just chit chat and talking about other things and getting more interested in that. And then I think we started chatting, talking back and forth, and then she had mentioned, that she seen that I was doing okay, but she's like, you probably need some education. You need a little assistance. And she's like, I've learned from these guys, and they got 20 plus years of experience, and this is where it's happening at. And then she started showing me other people's gains and things that they post to where they have been in y'all's group, and it looked very nice. So that just, it takes a minute to decide if you want to get in on something, and of course expense is always the thing. But if you think about the money that you're really throwing into the market and losing and not really knowing what you're doing altogether, and then getting the education that you really need to see how to watch and do, and the psyche part of it too, to be able to control that. So that's when I got interested, and it didn't take me too long. She didn't press me too hard, just maybe twist my arm a little bit and then say, hey, you need to do this. So then I decided, and I talked to Lou. She got me in contact with him. And then after talking to him, I went ahead and started the program in September. And then it's been good. It's been some really good wins, and it's been some decent losses as well. But, it's just kind of up and down, and learning how to control that bottom line is the big thing. Trying to figure that out.
Yep.
So, and then, and it's hard to trade, like Jennifer's the nurse as well. And so am I. So I guess that's maybe why we connected or started talking about things like that. And working at least 4 days 1 week and 3 the next, and sometimes even more than that. So a lot of times it's working 60 plus hours a week. So it's kind of rough to really have time to look at them, set up the trades, and and get in on them like you're supposed to. So between all that and work and then trying to trade as I go, it's been interesting so far. But it's very, very nice to see that the formula works. You just got to get the Dow theory down, use your fib extension and retracements, draw your lines, just kind of watch it. And then price action is a big thing. You know, if you want to make the bigger gains and stuff, or you could have bigger losses too, you need to look at the more volatile stocks and try to figure them out a little bit better by using those techniques and stuff and getting in and getting out.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah. And how long have you been in the program, Andy?
Since September.
Okay. So recent, a few months ago.
Yeah. So just recently, so this is, so basically this will be like my third month almost altogether. Maybe going into the third month.
Yeah.
And still learning. I still refer back to the videos all the time. And when I got time to sit down, I'll rewatch and go back through the program. And especially if I see something and it doesn't act quite like I thought it was going to or whatever, I go back and look back at the videos to figure out why and where I messed up or why I didn't get in the right, getting in on the right price points is the big thing too. You can get in on the stocks and stuff and then they'll go like you think they're going to go in the trend line is going up or down. But if you don't get in proper, then, you take away your profits or you add to your losses by not getting in right.
Yep, exactly.
So,
and
you got to look back, see how things are.
Yep, exactly. Spot on. And how's your experience been so far in the program in the past few months?
Oh, it's been awesome. I've tried to get on the Discord channels and I watched what everybody's posting and try to look at the videos y'all guys are putting out there and then hearing everybody else talk about their experiences and seeing what they're interested in and stuff. It's kind of tough. I don't interact a whole lot on the video, on the Discord and stuff. It's just, I got time to read it and not get involved in a big conversation a lot of times because a lot of times I'm kind of doing it at work here or there, just looking at it along the way and on my break or lunch or stuff like that. So, and then when I get home, I don't get home till really late. A lot of times at night, time I went by and took care of my mom and dad or done things I had to do for family and things. So it makes it tough to have time to get into it deep. Yep.
I know you had like a hot streak recently as well, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. The video was when it was going up. Today it ain't been so nice to me, but it'll come back and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
But got in on it nice a couple times and took a small amount of money up and still not a huge amount of money, but I guess with the amount of money I started with, it ran on up pretty nice from 2,500 ish to 3,000 up to 20-some thousand in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, a 7x gain with a small amount is a lot, right? Especially in the stock market. So.
Yes, I'm still learning, and I've still got the FOMO will get you if you don't watch out.
Yep.
If you're listening, it got me right before I met Jennifer on the other Discord, and when I met her and was watching her Apple gains and kind of took cue from some of the things she was saying about Apple and getting in and getting out. So technically, before I started your guys' program, I had took $3,000 and had run it up past $60,000 with Apple stock.
Wow.
And I messed up and got greedy and got in wrong a few times. And before you blink your eyes, it was gone.
Yep.
So, but that was before the education of really understanding Dow theory better and using the fib and just kind of getting in and getting out. I knew kind of what I was doing and running on up there pretty nice, but then didn't watch for the cues and stuff whenever the market turned and didn't catch it like I should have, and then it took all that gains away. But I gave it a little bit of time and took a month or so off. And then that's when I was talking to Jennifer and then she convinced me to try the program and to get the education. So next times I wouldn't do those type things.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, sometimes you got to learn, you got to practice the psychology, like you said, right? Like, even though you're getting with NVIDIA, from 3 to 21K, like that's a decent sized gain. And sometimes you just have to be happy as traders, like you don't need to get greedy. You don't need to
Yeah.
keep going essentially. So
Eventually, smaller gains and along the way, will make it bigger gains in the long run of things. And then, like I say, still working and stuff like that. So it's nice when you start getting those gains and you're seeing it increasing fast, but then you just got to slow back down and remember that the majority of the thing that I'm really interested in and trying to do is to supplement income for now and hopefully potentially make it be, a full-time income and get away from nursing and stuff. And it's been a good career, but 21 years, and I've been in the ER for over 11 years.
Yeah.
And with all the COVID and this, that, or the other, the last couple of years have really drained everything I had. So really pushing for something that can be comparable to salary and making money to be able to get out and then be able to do something more, but still be able to support family and still have the things you want.
Yep. Yeah, spot on. I mean, I think that's why a lot of people get into trading, right? It's, to be able to manage your own hours, not deal with the boss, do it from home. And it's possible, right? You've seen it in our community. It's just, it takes time, it takes practice, but you've seen it firsthand now in terms of like our strategies and methods. It works. It just takes time to execute. So
patience.
Yep.
And I'm still having problems with that. I'm being in the ER, everything is like stat now. You got to have it right now. So my patience is kind of thin a lot of times, but I'm trying to teach myself that way. And my fiance now is nodding her head over to the side of her like, yep. So she keeps getting on me about, being a little bit more slower with it and not taking those bigger losses whenever they do happen and making sure you're getting on out and maintaining the bigger wins.
Yep, exactly. And it just takes practice and consistency, right? Not going too fast. It's once you do it and you're consistent for long enough, that's when it kind of just clicks. You'll hit like a point where everything clicks, and then that's when you'll really start to take off.
Yeah, and when you go back and look through y'all's program and stuff like that, and really see where the pivot points are at, and watching for the dial to happen and things like that, you can actually look at the chart and watch as the day progresses, and sometimes without even really drawing it out, you can even see it happening. It just kind of pops out once you know what you're looking for. It'll kind of just pop out there at you. And then you'll have in your head, you look back in the past and see what it has been done and where the support and resistance has been at. And you kind of see it coming, and then you'll know what mark you're looking for in your head. And then whenever it happens, if it pushes on back up and bounces off that bottom and comes on back up, then you know to go ahead and get in then, or either you're good to go and you just kind of try to figure out where you really want to get out at. That's the biggest thing, is decide whenever you're happy, like I said earlier, whenever you got enough, or you think it's going to go just a little bit more. Sometimes it'll turn on you quick and it won't go a little bit more. And then you'll end up and it start going down. And then if you don't get out, then you're right back down to where you started and with no gains whatsoever, or even some losses. But it's just having a strategy, having a plan, everything y'all guys have taught within the program, using all of the resources that are there and all the videos, the community, just listening to other people and, bouncing off other people's head and seeing what their ideas are or what they're doing or what's working for them, and being able to just help each other out and make the community grow and help y'all's product grow and get the word out there that, hey, these guys have got it. And then see if we can go from there.
Yeah, I agree. Spot on. It's a journey. It's a process. And I think, having a community where everyone's going through the same journey with the same tools, everyone's very smart and driven, and it's really just execution and time and patience to get there. So, we're super excited and obviously very happy you're part of the community, Andy. And as you get better and better and you practice, you're going to start to see you're going to be more disciplined. You're going to be more patient. You're going to have better risk management. And that's just part of, the trader journey.
Yeah, definitely the risk management is a big part of it that I think most people fail on. That's that whenever they get in and they kind of are doing well and get going good, but then they don't get the risk management part down, and then it'll tank on them and go down, and then they decide to get out, or they're tired of taking some losses or something, and then they get scared and get back out. So it's there with the proper education. It can be done. You just got to look, be patient, follow suit, rinse and repeat.
Yep.
And keep getting it. And then get in, get out, if it's those type of days. And then there's a lot of the ones, too, that are good long-term holds and long-term things you can do. But also you just got to be able to apply all the principles of that, too, and make sure it's going to be where you want it to be down the road when you're a month or 2 months out or wherever you're positioning yourself at.
Yep.
It is. Just like anything else in life, like anything that's worth having is worth waiting on.
Yep, I agree wholeheartedly. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, Andy, to share your story and your journey. And I think it's going to be super inspiring for others to hear, your process and your journey thus far. And I'm excited to, keep in touch with you and see where you'll be even just a few months from now.
Yes, sir. We'll definitely be in contact with you. And I'm trying to get it all straight. Been kind of rough the last month or two. My father passed away October 25th, and he had been sick for a couple of years. And like I said, I've been going and taking care of him and Mom. Mm-hmm. I have Mom here with me now, and but she stays at home. My niece moved in with her and helping out a lot with her, but she comes and stays with me a few days here or there. And she recently fell and broke her hip, so we've been rehabbing her. So it's been very time-consuming. So that I'm part of it. For all those folks out there that maybe say they don't have time to do the things, there is time. You can make it. You got a very full life. You got to do all the things you have to do, but you can have time to do that. And then, I got 3 teenagers. Got a 19-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 14-year-old that keep me pretty busy.
Yeah.
Most of the time. So it's pretty rough to control all that and keep them going and keep them happy and keep them and be involved in their life. And so between running 3 families, between them and me and Mom, and so but it can be done.
Yeah.
You gotta have big support at home too. That helps out a lot. My fiance is wonderful.
Yeah.
We've been together about 3 years, and keep looking for the next day and see what else comes next. See what other ventures that she can make me go down the path and do right.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your father, but I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of all those things. Like it's, you're pushing through, you're putting in the time and effort, and you have a strong support system with you at the end of the day, and I think that's what matters. So.
Yes, sir. And then in my ER that I work at home, we're a small ER. We're a community hospital, but we see a lot of patients in a day's time, and I'm one of the charge nurses there, so it's very busy, and having to control all those things makes it kind of difficult sometimes, and making sure all the other nurses are doing what they're supposed to do and make sure the patients are getting what they need. And so it's, like I say, with all that, you have to have that plan and the strategy down to figure it out. But then in an emergency room, you don't never know what's coming in that door next, just like stocks. You don't never know what's happening. So you got to kind of filter that into your plan as well and look out for that other. And then, like I say, have your risk management down, which is something I'm still working on. Man, I'm not quite there yet. I still took a couple bad losses, like I said, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
And it will happen. And I promised my dad before he passed away, we were talking about it one time, and he was like, you need to keep your money. You don't need to be throwing it away. You need to do this and do that. And I said, I got this. I said, one day I will be a millionaire. And I said, it's probably going to have to come from stocks because, working just, unless you're just making tons of money, which you make okay.
Yeah.
But it ain't going to come there. So I said, one day, hopefully I will be. He said, well, I hope you do. So we'll see.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Andy. Super inspiring, and wish you nothing but the best. I'm excited to see your journey still in our community, and excited to see where you'll be in the next 3, even 6 months. So.
Yes, sir. We're going to have to get back in contact and see where we're at and we got to keep watching Jennifer with her Apple
Yep.
escapade.
Yep. Awesome.
Apple Queen.
Yep. She's literally the Apple Queen. So.
Yeah, her, and then another one I seen she's been posting on there. Sam, he's been doing really well with the Apple and stuff.
Yeah.
I think she got me started as well. So she's been a good inspiratory person to follow and watch and trying to help other folks out as well.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much, Andy. I appreciate you taking the time today.
You too, Tim.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one.